You sincerely believe that they don't have a point as the NDC party?
Samson, see, truly, I have not taken my time, contrary to what you said, to look at the names point by point.
I have followed you, lifting some of the people out there.
Oh no, this is
and interrogating some.
No, because of what happened, I was checking something. This is the presidential staffers list.
Right.
You know, so I was trying to see if I could find. Is it Mrs. Asante?
Yes, Vida.
Unfortunately, I didn't finish. But the list is here. This is the 2018 list, but submitted to Parliament 5th April 2019.
Okay.
I'm not sure the 2019 list has been submitted. It might have been, I don't know. So that's what I was looking through. No. But I've been dealing with the number 51. Of course, some of the names are very familiar. We all know. But I've been asking myself, how many appointments does the president make?
Maybe we should be talking about 50, not 51, because Gabi is labeled as de facto prime minister,
no,
not an appointment.
I'm proceeding on what they produced to us. They gave us the list, 51. Why should I do the mathematics?
No, I'm talking factually. These are facts, and they are not entitled to choose their facts.
But you see, 51, I'm proceeding on that premise.
Gabi is not an appointee of the government.
51.
So it's not 51.
I'm proceeding on that premise. How many appointees does a president appoint within the context of our constitutional architecture?
Hundreds.
Over 4,000. 6,000.
Allah.
Yes, I've heard about the thousands of them, but I don't have a specific figure to them, so I always say hundreds. Yes, appointees. Yeah.
Over 4,000.
That's the point. Because if you look at the list, some of the designations or portfolios that they brought forward are not exactly within government. Yes, so that's why I asked that question broadly. If they are in their thousands, we are dealing with 51. What's the percentage? And I'm assuming that the 51 is correct, and they are family and friends. I'm proceeding on that premise. And if the president appoints, let's say even 1,000, and not the 4,000 or 5,000, 6,000 we are being told, and there are 51 that are his family and friends, what's the percentage? Now let's go categorical in terms of the categories. Serious, we're talking here running a family and friends government, where the power lies. And power, perhaps as they are seeing, also comes with nepotism and corruption. We want to focus on those
running
things.
a family and friends government, an accusation that Mahama also suffered without proof, like they have done
no doubt,
showing numbers
you
of
know
the
my
people.
position. I took a stand on that, and I was lambasted actually by some NPP communicators. This name Joyce Bauer that is mentioned frequently these days, I didn't hear her name be mentioned then. When Babin came out to talk about friends and family government, the name that came to the fore was even Randy Abbey, that he had become a shadow cabinet, chief of staff, broken access. Okay, and then Babin added that because of that, President Mahama was unable to fight corruption effectively. If you recall, I took him on.
And Stan, those were the
Stan and Felix took Babin on and tore him apart. I also took Babin on and asked him to provide further and better particulars. Not just the names, but the corruption that he was linking to the names too.
But the MPP took that and ran with it in the election.
Of course.
They didn't show us.
But that's why I said when I took that stand, the MPP
they have
took
taken
me on.
the pains to give us at least 51 names. So let's proceed on that.
So that's what I'm dealing with. And that's why I started by posing the question, 51, assuming without admitting they are all truly friends and family of the president. What's the percentage? Then I proceed from there to ask, top positions in terms of the categories, cabinet ministers, how many are they? And how many president's family and friends are in there? Ministers, how many family and friends are in there? Deputy ministers, how many family and friends are in there? Regional ministers, how many family and friends are in there? MMDCs, they are in their hundreds. How many family and friends are in there?
170 of them.
Then the presidential staffers, which comes under the act, I forgot it immediately. Yeah, at 463. How many family and friends are in there? Then because they have stretched the realm to bring in creative arts council and also Gimpa council.
That's the president's daughter.
Gimpa council and all that. They've stretched it. Okay? How many friends and family are in there? You see straight away that this is an invitation into the realm of absurdity. Simplicity. But for propaganda purposes, yeah, the sound bites are good. This is propaganda, an invitation to indulge in propaganda masturbation.
Can you
That's what it is. Foreign service. Yeah, they brought in the foreign service.
Can you imagine for a second the NPP in opposition with this list? Can you imagine the media landscape?
I wonder why you asked me this question. I was a target of NPP critique for taking a stand on that. You recall the merchant bank issue.
Right.
And that the President Mills had invited Vice President Mahama to sit in a meeting to deal with merchant bank matters. And there was this thing about perceived conflict of interest. Again, the family connection. On this chair here, I was dealt with. Akufo, he said, no, now they are telling us that numbers really don't count. Akufo appointed Addo Akufo. It became a problem.
Right.
He appointed J.H. Mensah, his brother-in-law. It became a problem. When his son, who was an adult and a professional, decided to syndicate some loans to build a hotel, it became a problem, and they were connecting it to family, Akufo's influence as president. The numbers didn't count then. There were 3 or 4, but the numbers counted and became ammo for propaganda. So I'm not talking about just the numbers. It's them who have brought the numbers. That's why, and they stretched it. And so I'm asking, fine, let's deal with the number. And the number itself, what is the percentage of that broad-based appointment zone that the president has? Of course, they moved then to link it to corruption or money, wealth making. Where's the evidence? You see, so Bumpty's sister or brother or something has been given some contract at Watts. I deal with it. Was it properly done? Procurement methods. Which one was adopted? Is it in the face of the law, procurement laws? Was it proper? Has something gone wrong? If something is gone wrong, where do you go cure the mischief? We have many avenues. If we deal with the things that way, yes, we'll be making progress. But if it's just to throw it out there, family and friends, well, I say it's good for propaganda. It might have some effect in some areas. But when you bring it on this table for interrogation, it falls flat. It becomes a disaster. That's the way I see it. Okay? I ask myself, okay, this family and friends government, what are the programs they are launching and putting out there? Those programs they are launching and putting out there, what's the impact on the population? Is it targeted at their family and
So
friends?
in respect of the specific numbers, I have a figure I am not too sure about, but because of the source, I want to believe that the president makes as many as 6,000 of these appointments.
I haven't done that research.
You know, I wrote an article even last week, and I said we have an absurd situation where you have an imperial president who may spend all his first term, just doing appointment. So that's about 6,000.
But you see, and we have picked 51, but I'm told, to be fair to the NDC, that is 100. Only that they decided to face it. So this is part 1. We'll have part 2. We actually, there's an unfolding movie. But my final point, Samis brought in an angle. Wednesday he brought it in. Thursday he challenged my analysis of it. But let's be charitable. He says he wasn't talking ethnocentric, even though he kept on saying that the Ashanti NPP, Ashanti Regional NPP, are very happy with what they did. And yes, he said so. He mentions Oforiatta's name and says that somebody like Akufo say perhaps would have been a more deserving finance minister than her. Well, Kojo Chumboafu described it as an ugly diversion.
Yeah.
And I told him I didn't introduce that. But you see, Sami then goes to the Constitution to rationalize that point. Regional balance. Let's assume that premise is something we can interrogate. How do you apply it to the 51? Within the context of the 6,000 you've just told us. Where is the imbalance? I don't know whether you are getting my drift. Yeah. Where is the imbalance? Yeah. You take the cabinet. Okay, that's about 19 or not more than 19. Am I right? Let's check. There you can apply this if you want. Ministers, regional ministers. I'm not sure you can apply that with MDCs, but fine. Presidential staffers. Look, it's just an invitation into the realm of absurdity. If there was any merit in it, they destroyed it subsequently by bringing all sorts of alien elements. For instance, the Gabi thing, de facto prime minister. That's propagandist. We all know. It's alien to the Constitution. But you see, it is something that has been said over and over again. And then when you ask for evidence, they bring you the pictorial thing, the reflection. Gabi, Bomti, President Akufo Addo, and was it the president of Guyana? Was that an official meeting, really?
That's also a question to ask.
Do you know how official meetings are conducted? So please, sometimes let's just be cautious how we put these things out there, okay?
No, but we are getting to elections, are we not?
Exactly, ma. That's the point I was making about the propaganda masturbation. That's all. You've settled the matter for me. So it's okay.
Okay, so